Hi, I'm Jacqui Jones from Net Concepts, and we're at SMX in fabulous Sydney. Right now we're speaking with Monte Huebsch from AussieWeb. How are you?
I'm great, Jacqui. Thanks for talking to me.
So you're originally from Brisbane, aren't you? So you've just flown down from Sydney for this conference.
Came down. This is the largest international conference of its type in the Southern Hemisphere, and 200 plus people from New Zealand like yourself. Yank accent, but I'm from Brisbane, yes.
Awesome. So is it possible you can tell us a little bit about AussieWeb and what you do?
AussieWeb is a local search directory, business directory. It's got 1.2 million Australian businesses in it. It's the 5th largest directory in Australia. People that are larger than us are who you would expect: Google and Yellow Pages and TrueLocal, which provides the data for both Google and Yahoo.
Okay, great. So what do you think, what is the status of local search in Australia and New Zealand, if you know that at the moment?
Local search is just really starting out in its infancy. It's just finally beginning to grow. All the searches that were done historically in the past, and even Google recognizes this because we partner with Google. You've used Google, you found what you wanted, and you've bookmarked all those sites, and so you do less searches unless you have a new problem. But now people are starting to use the internet to find local businesses. So they're doing research on the internet, they're finding a local company, and they're not completing the transaction online, but they're buying local. And in fact, 62% of offline purchases are influenced by online research. Case in point, if you search for an Apple computer or an iPod or an iTouch, you might find the Apple site, and you might not want to buy it online and wait for 3 days for it to be delivered. You want to find the local outlet, find out whether they have the stock of the phone or the touch you want or whatever, and then you go buy it. So actually, local search as a percentage of general search is growing at a rapider rate now.
Sorry, just before you mentioned that you supply some of the data to Google and Yahoo, is that correct?
No, TrueLocal is the provider of, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch. They provide in Australia the data for both Yahoo and Google for their business directories. But Google actually takes data from multiple sources, so they'll have restaurant reviews from a restaurant review site. We provide Google an XML feed. If they see data useful from us, they'll use our data as well.
Right. So with, over time, Google or local search in Google and using maps technology will become more popular. And so do you think that will actually make local directories such as AussieWeb possibly and local search redundant at all?
No. Good question, Jacqui. Good question, and it's a valid one. Of all the major directories in Australia, of which there are about 8, there are only 2 that are Web 2.0, and by 2.0 what I really mean is they're free. And that's Google and ourselves. Yes. All the rest of the people have premium listings, and they charge anything from $800 to $8,000 to participate. TrueLocal is a good case in point because TrueLocal, I think, is about a $800 a year product, and if you list in TrueLocal, you automatically show up in Google and Yahoo, yes, as well as TrueLocal. So, but that's a paid environment, and there's a big difference between paid and free.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So I don't think we'll go out of business quite yet.
Okay. So what do you think are some of the most, the greatest challenges for businesses in New Zealand in regards to search in Australia and New Zealand?
The challenge in either country is the same, and that is there are so many new businesses starting every year, and there's also so many new businesses that are existing that go out of business, and the number is around 40%. So keeping your directory base current and accurate is the biggest challenge, and the way we get around that is we have a button on our site that says report this listing as wrong. So if somebody goes and they say, hey, that business is no longer down the street, or they closed, or they changed their name, we're actually using our users as like a wiki to provide us information to help us keep our directories fresh and current. But that's the biggest challenge. Okay,
and so what are your top tips, or what do you see happening in the future for local search, or what would you like to see happen?
We've just done a seminar or a session here today where all of the search players, competitors and friends alike, all got together and we spoke about that. And what you're finding is, a case in point is probably good as Google. Google just added video, where you can now link video to your local search listing. And I think you're going to find rich content coming along. The ability for a small company who may not even have a website, having a directory listing that'll include pictures, a map to get there, directions, a video. It literally becomes their web presence. And and having that in multiple locations is valuable. And the cost of being on virtually every directory in Australia of consequence, except maybe Yellow, is a few $1,000s, and that's probably better money spent than building a website, which small businesses are time poor and they don't have the ability to maintain and operate.
Absolutely. So that's all the questions I have for you today. So thank you for speaking with us at Net Concepts, and I look forward to catching up with you again soon.
To catch you in New Zealand.